Shalom everyone, it's Monday again, and this time I'm recording not on Friday, but on Erev Simchat Torah. And the reason I'm doing that is because this Parashat Vezot HaBeracha, is the only parasha that we do not read on Shabbat. This parasha we read on Simchat Torah, and that falls on a weekday, usually. Sometimes it can fall on Shabbat as well, but usually it falls on a weekday. And as such, today is Hoshana Rabbah. It is Monday, Baruch Hashem, and we are about to read Vezot HaBeracha tomorrow, Be'ezrat Hashem, and finish the Chumash. Now, I would say today, specifically, this year, we are celebrating a lot of finishes on the same day. Baruch Hashem, we have the amazing news this morning. The hostages were all released, Baruch Hashem. To a certain degree, we have a very major moment, which many call the end of the war, Baruch Hashem, that has been going on, unfortunately, for 2 years, since Simchat Torah, 2 years ago exactly. And this is a time where we feel that many things come to a close. We're also reading the end of the Torah, the end of the Chumash, Be'ezrat Hashem, next week, or I should say, on Shabbat, we will be starting it afresh. But at least for now, we are bringing this cycle again to a close. Additionally, there's another thing that is coming to a close, which people don't always remember, which is Sukkot is coming to a close. This is the final day of Sukkot, Hoshana Rabbah. Tomorrow, Shmini Atzeret, is in many ways its own Chag, but there is an element to this being the end of the Chagei Tishrei, the festivals of the month of Tishrei, which, according to my teacher Rav Yoel Ben Nun, as he proves from many different places in the Tanakh, is to a certain degree the end of the beginning of the year. If you think about it, Rosh Hashanah is the beginning of Tishrei. We kind of go straight into Aseret Yemei Teshuvah, the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is a high point, and that leads straight into Sukkot. And there's actually a very ancient tradition that Hoshana Rabbah is the very final nail in the coffin of the previous year. It's the very final, you could say, piece of the puzzle in which we finish the period of the Yamim Noraim. Actually, if you were in shul this morning, you would very likely have seen the Chazan wearing a kittel, the white garment of Yamim Noraim. There are special tunes that go together with that. Shmini Atzeret as well likewise has the korbanot. That if you actually read the Musaf, it has the same kind of sacrifices as Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Another interesting vignette I got from my teacher Rav Yoel Ben Nun, and that all proves that this is all part of one big chunk called in the Tanakh Tkufat Hashanah, the end of the previous year and the beginning of the next year. And from after Simchat Torah, we start in many ways the coming year. We are finishing and we're about to start. And actually, in Israeli tradition, this is well echoed by the comedic phrase Achrei HaChagim. After our festivals, this is something everything is always pushed off. When are we going to do this? Achrei HaChagim, Achrei HaChagim. After Simchat Torah, after all of that, then Be'ezrat Hashem we'll be able to start things afresh. But if we're reading the end of the Torah, we often think that the end of the Torah is the very final verse in the Chumash. It says, "L'chol hayad hachazaka, l'chol hamora hagadol, asher asa Moshe le'inei kol Yisrael." Very beautifully, we end the Torah with the word Yisrael, the Jewish people. The Jewish people very much are the theme of the Chumash, and it is a message for us to take with us to the rest of the world, or Lagoim, and so on and so forth. But nonetheless, I would actually like to argue that that is not really the end of the Chumash. The end of the Chumash, if we're already talking about endings, is actually the very final pasuk of the previous chapter. We read on Shmini Atzeret, on Simchat Torah, again in Chutz La'aretz, they're separate days, but in Eretz Yisrael they are the same day. We read through Vezot HaBeracha, and at the very end we have the piece of Chatan Torah, where every different community will choose someone who will be the special Chatan Torah, in many ways celebratory finisher of the Chumash. And there's also a Chatan Bereshit who starts the next book. They give honor to different important members of the community for what they did, and so on and so forth. And we start that with Me'ona Elohei Kedem Mitachat Zorot Olam. We kind of, the very end of the blessings of the 12 tribes, which make up most of Vezot HaBeracha, we have the blessing for the Jewish people as a whole. And this is something that we start reading together, in many ways, instead of Shishi or Shvi or Maftir. And I would like to focus on the very last verse that comes in that piece. Vaishkon Yisrael betach badad ein Yaakov el eretz dagan v'tirosh af shamav ya'arfu tal אשריך ישראל מי כמוך, עם נושע אדוני מגן עזרך, ואשר חרב גאוותך, ויקחשו אויביך לך, ואתה על במותימו תדרוך. Now this piece, ironically, is not actually often heard much, because it's the beginning of Chatan Torah, everyone's still excited, and everyone's ready for the end of the Chazak Chazak V'nit Chazek. But I think this is a very important piece that we need to translate, and we'll go through it word by word. Vaishkon Yisrael betach. And the Jewish people will dwell in safety and security. Badad ein Yaakov. Ein here does not mean I, but it means Ma'ayan, it means the spring. The spring of Yaakov will indeed be secure. El eretz dagan v'tirosh. In a land of grain and wine. Af shamav ya'arfutal, and from the heavens above will come down the dew, referencing the rain as well. Ashrecha Yisrael, blessed are you, the Jewish people. Good for you. You are amazing. Ashrecha Yisrael, mi kamocha. Who is like you? Am nosham Adonai, a nation saved by God. Magen ezrecha, who protects you and assists you, and who in essence is your pride and sword, who fights for you, and despite all of the lies and the deceits of your enemies, and you will emerge victorious and will come forth successful. This piece, I think, is incredibly poignant to talk about for this year, Bezrat Hashem. Unfortunately, I feel like we've had a very, very difficult 2 years. And that is coming to a close. Bezrat Hashem, this is the end of that period. I think that there's much ahead of us, for sure. Our enemies are not done. There are still many different things that we need to fix and change, but at least we can celebrate the small victory that is now the idea of Baruch Hashem, the hostages coming home, this closure that we received from the 7th of October, coming back 2 years to the day of Simchat Torah, being able to put everything aside. As my wife mentioned to my 4-year-old daughter, Bezrat Hashem, there'll be no more sirens, there'll be no more attacks, there'll be no more stresses. We will still have to do miluim, we will still have to continue defending the country, but at least there's an ability. I think the whole Jewish nation across the world has taken a big sigh of relief, of being able of Veishkon Yisrael betach. Baruch Hashem, the Jewish people is able to stop and to be safe and secure. Baruch Hashem, the Jewish nation, Hashem has fought this war for us, has helped us succeed to become a very safe and secure place in the world, ironically, despite it being a war. But the Jewish people is in a better situation than they were 2 years ago, for sure. And Baruch Hashem, Ashrecha Yisrael, mi kamocha, am nosha Hashem. Amazing, Baruch Hashem, the blessed Jewish people. It is an absolute miracle, a gift, a bracha to be a member of the Jewish people in this period of history. And I think we have to be grateful to Hashem, Am Nosha Hashem, and we have to be grateful to all of those who fought, who came back injured in body or spirit. Unfortunately, who were all the hostages who fought to survive each day, for all of those, unfortunately, who gave their lives and enabled us to be where we are today, and for all of those who fought, Baruch Hashem, and came back safely, and their families who supported them along the way. This is a great opportunity to thank my family for supporting me throughout this period during the many, many, many days of Miluim. And Bezrat Hashem, there is a famous phrase that we say at the end of the year, and I think since this is to a certain degree a period of the end of the year, Tichle Shana v'kilelotea, may the previous year and all of its curses and downsides and fears wash away. V'tachel Shana u'bechotea, may Bezrat Hashem, this coming year, this coming period, be a period of peace, Bezrat Hashem, Yishkon, Israel, Betach, Bezrat Hashem, many ways mirroring the bracha of Binyamin, of the presence of Hashem. לבנימין אמר ידיד השם ישכון לבטח עליו, חופף עליו כל היום, ובין כתפיו שכן. בעזרת השם, I wish you all a חג שמח, and we will see you, בעזרת השם, this Friday. חג שמח.